Welcome to the Moving Company Owners Podcast, where we dive deep into the world of moving companies and the people who make them run. From industry leaders to successful moving company owners, we explore their stories, strategies, and insights to help you grow your business and take it to the next level. Whether you're just starting out or a seasoned veteran, this is the podcast for you. So sit back, relax, and get ready to move your business forward with your host, Jason Bergenske.
Hey guys, Jason Bergenske here with Gadi from Relocation Insurance Group. Just wanted to welcome him to the show.
Hi, Jason. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, very nice meeting you. Pretty much when we go through this, we just kind of like to learn a little bit about you, about your company, and how you got in the moving industry, and what you're doing to help the moving industry grow as a whole. Do you mind just sharing a little bit about you, your company, and how you got started in the moving industry?
Sure, absolutely. So I was born in Israel, came here in 1986. I was actually a farmer in Israel. Came here, thought, I'm going to work for a moving company, make some money, travel, go back. So I started working for Schleppers Moving in New York City. From there, I started my own company a few years later. Joined another moving company, Myers, as a partner. We became a Mayflower agent, so I learned a little bit about the van line, and then decided moving is not for me. I sold my part and joined Moving.com, which was one of the first, if not the first, lead generator. And that's where I realized the power of the internet, connecting consumers to movers, etc. That's where I came up with the idea of MovingInsurance.com that later turned into Relocation Insurance Group. And I started the business in 2004, and we were really the first agency to provide online moving insurance to consumers that they could buy directly to protect their household goods during a move.
That's fantastic. And so normally you're working with the moving company directly. Is that normally correct? And then they're helping get you customers that are purchasing the moving insurance through your company?
That is correct. So we're considered, I guess, a B2B2C. We have an affiliation agreement actually with moving companies. You need to have an agreement with us if you're a moving company in order to work with us. And then the moving companies are referring their customers to us.
Tell me a little bit as far as the different types of policies you do. I think we, spoke about you do local, interstate.
Right. So I'll start with, So we are licensed in all 50 states in the U.S., and we can sell insurance only internationally. So domestic and international, that's one way to look at it. The other thing is, in terms of the policies, we offer what's considered all risk, which is the most coverage part of policy. We offer what's called named perils, mostly catastrophe, and we offer total loss. The differences are also in terms of a local move to an intrastate or an interstate move.
Very good. And then, so as far as when a moving company then gives you or has their customer contact you or the insurance is purchased through that moving company, what then happens as far as the process where you guys take over? I would assume probably before the move takes place, where you're then doing they're selecting their insurance that they want, how much they want, the terms of it, and then all the way through the process of, the move happens, and then there is or is not a claim. Which part do you guys take in that, and which part would the moving company still be responsible for?
Sure, good question. So we talk to a customer. On average, customers call us and bind coverage between 3 to 5 days prior to the move date. That's the very last thing I think they do in that process, and go through the process, explain to them about the policy, and then they bind the policy. If nothing happens, they buy a policy for a minimum of 90 days. They can extend it if they go into SIT, storage in transit, or if there's an interstate move. If nothing happens, then everybody's happy. If there is a claim, we get paperwork. We work then with the moving company. We'll get paperwork from the moving company, bill of lading, inventory, warehouse receipts, etc. We'll get the same thing from the insured or the shipper, and then we handle the claim. We pay the claim. So it's all on us. The moving company's responsibility, besides being in touch with us in that phase in terms of paperwork, their liability is the 60 cents, which we then subrogate. But other than that, we pay the customer everything. Customers, by the way, are being paid once we get the paperwork from both parties within 30 days.
And then, I used to run a moving company myself. My grandparents started one back in the 60s, and that's how I got in the moving industry. We since sold it a couple of years ago once I took over our moving software and call center full time.
Right.
One of the most terrible things of running a moving company was having to let a customer know that something that we either did break was not going to be as high of a payout as they thought it was going to be, 60 cents per pound, right?
Right.
And I can imagine that that's a huge help, having you guys be able to be the ones that are having to give that news based on the terms that they purchased prior to the move. And I can see the benefit for a moving company because it makes you guys either it makes the moving company the good guys because they offered additional insurance, and then the customer obviously hopefully purchase, which is when they'd be dealing with you guys.
Right.
But if the customer doesn't get what they want, it makes you guys the bad guys, not the moving company, which is
That's true, and yeah, absolutely right. So
which
again,
is a good thing. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I mean, it's a good thing.
it is a good thing. I mean, that's our business, right? We take away the liability. Number one. I mean, think about, God forbid, a truck blows up, etc. You talk about hundreds of, tens of thousands, sometimes hundreds of thousands that our insurance company will pay, right? But also the burden of having a customer call and back and forth and dealing with it and the upset, bad reviews, you name it, right? We take all that. We know how to deal with customers. We know how to, talk to them. In some cases, customers don't get what they want because either it wasn't covered or they didn't follow the terms of the policy. In many cases, by the way, we work with moving companies. We have what we call goodwill gesture, right? Even though the terms will say you get A, B, C, and you don't get, D and above, but we understand it's an important customer or whatever. We will work with the moving company to compensate this customer. But all that is done on our end. In essence, the moving company doesn't hear anything, doesn't need to know anything until the claim is settled. We do communicate with the moving company via email. We have some moving companies who ask that we will keep them in the loop. Our system is online. We can add them to that system if they wish. 99% of the customers, moving companies, do not want to know what's going on. Just pay it, take care of it, and make me happy, make the customer happy. And that's what happens.
That's good. And then if I was a moving company and I work with you and start offering that to my customers, in addition, obviously, to what we just spoke about being a benefit, because now the liability is no longer on the moving company, it's on your company then.
Right.
What other benefits come along with that as far as maybe a lead fee or go ahead. Yeah.
We have several financial benefits, as you called it. I mean, we're with insurance, it's pretty straight, right? We can't pay commission or kickback or whatever you call it, but we do pay lead fees. So there's a way to work with us where we get the lead, the name of the customer, the information, and we work this with our team. And when the lead becomes qualified, they don't need to buy a policy. We pay for a qualified lead. Up to we recently created an API which allow the customer to buy insurance through the moving system, and then the moving company can either add a fee on top of it, or we provide them a cut from our own cut. So the benefit for them is financial. In some cases, when we ran models, movers can make between $100 to $200 per policy, and that's net. So if you think about it in terms of what do they need to generate profit, $100 to $200 from a moving job, then you can see there's a lot of money involved here, and of course volume is a factor, but they get paid for it, and that's really the bottom line.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And so, I mean, tell me a little bit about, as far as your company there, what sets you guys apart from, if you guys have competitors. Again, I'm not too sure. Obviously, I know we all have State Farm and other ones like that that'll do some types of policies, but is there anyone else in this space that you would consider a competitor? You don't need to name their names, but what would necessarily their benefits?
But I think, look, it's a pretty small industry from that aspect, specifically on the domestic. So there's even less than a handful of companies who do that, or insurance agents who do that. I think that in terms of what sets us apart, number one, 80% of our team are people who came from the moving industry, from the claims, from customer service, from owning a moving company like myself. There's another person on my team that with her husband, she used to own a moving company. So we kind of kid and we say, we speak moving. When we talk to a customer and they tell us about their piano or their high value item, we know what needs to happen. We know how they need to create it literally down to the detail. So that's number one. And same thing with a moving company. So in many cases, we've been around for 20 years, so you can appreciate that. I'm tomorrow 63, so I've done it for 36 years. We'll have movers who come to us, yeah, I've been doing this for 3 years. I know what to do. Well, we have people who've done it for 20 years, right? So that's our expertise. The other thing I think is we're very innovative. So we're looking, like I said before, I mentioned to you, we were the first one to come up with this online process that allows consumers, shippers, to buy moving insurance. I believe, I don't know if my competitors are going to see this, but I believe that we're the first one to create that API that connects to your software and allows the customer to purchase the insurance while or right after they book the move. And there are many other aspects that we're looking at it. We always are looking to improve. We always are in communication with our movers to understand from them what they need. We created a manual that helps them in terms of packing. So we're very involved with what they do. We keep them in the loop. Like I said, emails go to them when a policy is purchased, newsletters. We always want to hear from them because we understand if there's something that they need and we can provide it, that will benefit them and their customers.
Attention moving company owners, are you tired of managing your business with spreadsheets and pen and paper methods? Do you want to streamline your operations, increase your bookings, and look more professional to your customers? Then it's time to switch to MOVEITPRO software. Our cloud-based platform provides everything you need to manage your moving company in one place, from booking and dispatching to payment processing and customer communication. Plus, with features like GPS tracking, real-time notifications, and detailed reporting, you'll be able to optimize your operations and take your business to the next level. So what are you waiting for? Visit www.moveitpro.com to schedule a free demo today and see how we can help you move your business forward.
And now, as far as marketing and your sales strategies, not necessarily to the moving companies, but one thing that kind of dawned on me, I assume, do you guys go after regular people that are moving without the moving company giving you the leads? Or does the majority of your business all come from moving companies?
So it's an excellent question. I'll tell you why. Because we actually do not advertise or market to individuals. If you think about it, an individual is moving once every 10 years on average in the US. If I spend $100 on every lead that I got, which I'm not going to book 100% of it, it's going to be a waste of money. However, by virtue of our domain name, so our domain name, the main domain name, movinginsurance.com, and for people to understand here, Relocation Insurance, movinginsurance.com, same company. We pop up number one. We're number one on whenever people type moving insurance. We get a lot of consumers calling us.
Leads coming in.
Leads just from that. I can tell you that in the 20 years, maybe I had one or two Google ad campaigns, online. So that's not the way that we market. We do market to moving companies, obviously. So we're members of about 10 associations, from the ATA Moving Storage Conference to the Dispatchers Network to the IAM, which is the international, to local New Jersey, New York, Southwest. So we go to these conferences. That's how we market to them. We do a lot of work on LinkedIn. I personally have, I think, about 20,000 connection, a little more than 20. A lot of them in the moving, industry. And we go and visit our accounts. We do that as well. So that's really our most, our approach. Go after the moving companies or market to the moving companies.
And that's an amazing thing too, because you're literally, as a moving company owner, that's something I want to hear, because all your customers are moving companies.
That's right.
So I know you're going to treat me right, because if you don't treat me right,
you're going to my competitor. Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. And as a moving company owner, I know a bunch of other moving company owners.
Right.
So I know you're going to, take care of business and do the right thing, because, your reputation is important to you.
Yeah, absolutely.
What are two mistakes you guys have made, over the years since you founded the company, and of those mistakes, what would you change or not change? I have a lot of mistakes in our business that, I'll be honest, they were mistakes, but I'd never change them because they got us to where we are today.
Right.
And then there's some that probably, we probably could have done that a little differently. But I'd love to hear.
Sure.
I love to hear and learn from other people's mistakes
No, absolutely, absolutely.
than from my own.
I say my philosophy that everything that we go through life is an experience and a lesson, right? And mistakes are a lesson. So that's how I
Absolutely.
look at it. The very first mistake. So we started in 2004. I think we had about 150, maybe 180 moving companies by the second year already working with us. But the mistake was that we pretty much accepted almost everyone,
Hmm.
including companies who shouldn't have been in our network, like not proper licensing, not really doing the right thing, not talking even about loss ratios as we look at it in the insurance business. And we kept adding it because, hey, we saw the opportunity, right? More revenue, more dollars. But we got a call one day from our insurance carrier. I said, guys, sorry to tell you, if you don't change something, we're just ending the program, right? And literally, we cut, I think, about 70% of our movers. We created a whole process where we vet the moving companies before we sign them up, that we look at their online information, licenses, reviews. We take them through an application process, et cetera, et cetera. And I think, in our network, we have great, great moving companies, over 1,000 moving companies to date. So that was one mistake. Just get everything that you can.
Hmm.
It's going to bite you later, and you don't
Sure.
want to get that. So you may want to start slower and then build up your network or your business. That's one mistake. The other mistake is we jumped on different programs that we shouldn't have. So, for instance, at some point, I thought, excuse me, well, we get all these customers, consumers, right, that buy insurance from us for the
Hmm.
move date. What about if we sell them travel insurance? And literally, we went into that program thinking we can sell it. We sold maybe a handful, a lot of effort, a lot of resources we spent on it, and we decided at some point that's not what we do. So the advice here is stick to your core business.
Yep.
If your core business is the local move, you're doing great there. Yeah, of course you can check and see maybe there's an opportunity for interstate. But if your core business is that and you're making money and you're doing good there, stick with your core business, whatever that is.
And then one thing I wanted to ask, as far as, and I know it's completely different on your policies for cost and stuff like that, based on value, where it's going, where it's coming from, all that kind of stuff.
Right.
But if I owned a local moving company and I were to offer, my leads were to come to you, and it's for a local move that's going 20 miles away, and it's a 3-4 bedroom house, what could someone, and again, we're not going to hold you to this because obviously it's I'm sure it can change all the time, but
Right.
also just based on what the contents are.
Right.
But what is someone usually looking at to ensure if one of their customers were to come to you?
Right. So there is a difference between local, intrastate, and interstate, obviously. If we're looking local, and again, as you said, don't hold me to it because
Of course.
many, many, many factors go into this. But I would say roughly the premium for such a policy, which the value, the declared value, as we call it,
Mhm.
on it would be roughly about $15,000 to $18,000, would cost about $300. On the
Okay.
interstate side of it, average of the declared value about 28,000. People insure more,
Yep.
and it will be about $500 in premium. But again, to remember, and to everybody who's watching it here, it depends on the deductible, depends on
Of course.
sometimes types of whether it's local or interstate, depends if it's an all risk policy, as I mentioned, or it's a name peril or total loss, which costs a little less. So there are some variables, but to give you an idea, these are the numbers. And one of the reasons, besides the value, lower value on the local move or intrastate, is because we allow for a customer to insure specific items on a local move, also on an interstate move. So
Mhm.
usually they say, "Hey, I'm moving a few blocks." If they're moving within town, I don't need to insure everything. I just want to insure my bedroom set, living room set, and TV. We can do that. They don't need to insure the entire shipment, and that's why you see the cost, the premium, lower than the interstate move.
And if you have customers that had expensive artwork and stuff like that, not going to ask you for price on that because obviously I assume it would be more. But you guys do types of named policies on things like that also.
We do. So the rule of thumb is if the artwork of fine art is no more than 50%, 50 of the entire household shipment, we would insure it under the same policy. Once it goes over that 50% threshold, we have to issue a separate policy, and we do have a fine art moving insurance policy for that.
So the next thing I do is I call it a lightning round. It's pretty much 6 questions, just to more know a little bit about you, and your thoughts on things. So
Sure. You're
here
not
we
going to
go.
trick me, are you? No, I'm kidding.
No tricks. So
Just
first
kidding.
one, what? Yeah, no, you good. What's the best piece of business advice you've ever received?
I'm actually going to refer to a quote I recently saw, and it works from day one for me. And this is from Bruce Lee. And he said, if you want to learn to swim, jump into the water. On dry land, no frame of mind is ever going to help you. And so many times I see, colleagues, friends, whomever say, yeah, I want to do that. I want to do that. I want to do that. And they don't do it. You need to jump in the water. You're going to get wet. It may be cold or hot, depending which water you jump into, but then you'll experience it. And I think that's true when I look back in to my career and to other businesses. It's a great advice, and, attributed to Bruce Lee.
That's awesome. And what's one characteristic of a successful founder or owner, do you feel?
Um, you mean like a model, or is it a model?
Yeah,
Or
I mean, just one attribute of them or characteristic of someone that is a successful, person that runs a company or founded a company.
I think, yeah, what comes into mind, jumps into mind is Richard Branson, right?
Hmm.
Virgin. And
Yep.
what I like about him, he takes risks. I also connect with him on another level. I think he jumped once or twice from an airplane. I was a paratrooper, so that kind of connects me to him. But his ability and endless desire to take chances, I love it.
That's awesome. What's your favorite productivity tool?
I love Microsoft suites,
Yep.
mainly Excel. I'm an Excel, junkie, but Power BI as well. We use it a lot in the business, and it creates great reports. Really gets me great analysis whenever I look at it, real numbers. So yeah, I recommend these two.
That's good. What's a new crazy business idea that you would do if you had the time?
Well, one of them actually we're working on right now, and this is creating a partnership, a legal partnership with a moving company under an insurance agency. So bring the moving company owner, create with him or her an insurance agency, and then really reap the benefits. I mentioned before, we can't pay commission, we can't pay
Mhm.
kickbacks, but if the moving company is a partner with us in that agency, we can then obviously share the profit with them. So that's one. The other one, I don't know how crazy it is, but I'm a golfer. I love to golf, and I own the domain golfpartner.com. Probably could sell it for a nice chunk, but I want to actually create an application that would connect people who, let's say, if I don't know, travel to Thailand and I want to golf there, and I don't know anyone there, I can connect to somebody via this application. But you're right.
That's
If
cool.
I had the time,
Right?
exactly.
Yep. What's an interesting or fun fact about you most people don't know?
All right. So I don't know from people who watch, who knows me, but so first when I turned 55, I said, yeah, I got to do something fun by the age of 60. So I created this 60 by 60. I mentioned before I'm a golfer. So I said, okay, I'm going to play in 60 different courses, golf courses, by the age of 60. And I played all over the world, Ireland, Israel, you name it. And when I played here locally, I had to start going further and further because the rule here was it has to be a new course every time. So that's one thing. So now I turned 60. I'm actually turning to more 63. I think I mentioned that. I thought, okay, so what am I going to do by the age of 70? So I came up with 70 by 70, and that is travel to 70 countries by the age of 70. I'm now at 37. And if you do the math, whatever, it means 5 countries a year. So
Yep.
I gotta become very busy in that path.
That's awesome, though. Um, so, last question. What's one of your most important passions outside of work?
Art. I love art. I'm an art collector, contemporary, modern art. I go to galleries. I live in Montclair, New Jersey, close to New York City. Many 500, I think, galleries in the city. I'm registered in a tour that goes out almost on a weekly basis to different galleries. Definitely my passion.
Awesome. Well, that's the conclusion as far as those questions. Is there anything else you want to tell our viewers? Or if not, how would they get in contact with you?
Sure. So, yeah, what I want to tell you is what I mentioned also before, business owners, right? If you just started the business or you're running it for a while, plan it, work on it, execute. Sitting and waiting, like I said before, on dry land will not get you into the pool. So jump, take the risk. If we fail, which we all do from time to time, we learn from it, we move on. So that's the best advice I can provide. How to contact me? Gadi B, GADIB at relocationinsurance.com or movinginsurance.com. You can contact our team, connect with us. Like I said, we love partnership with moving companies. We love partnership with software providers like you, Jason. And it's a program that we all benefit. The customers, obviously, the
Yeah.
shippers, then the moving companies, and also the software companies. And I'd love to hear from you guys.
Perfect. All right. Well, I appreciate it, and we'll talk next time.
Very much.
All
Very
right.
appreciate that very much, Jason. Thank you and good luck.